It always begins quietly, long before anyone notices the signs, long before the first cracks appear, long before the kind one even understands what's happening inside them. There is a child, small, attentive, trying so hard to be good, standing in front of a parent who is unraveling. The child watches the tremble in their parent's voice, the anger that comes too fast, the exhaustion that sinks too deep, or the cold silence that becomes a daily meal. And somewhere in that moment, without being told, the child makes a decision. If I'm kind, maybe things won't fall apart. That's where it begins, the birth of the nice person. Not the genuine kind soul who gives because they want to, but the person who gives because they must. Over time, that instinct becomes a habit. The habit becomes a personality. The personality becomes a prison. We grow up being taught that kindness is this pure, shining, uncomplicated good. We tell children to be nice. We praise the ones who share, who help, who never complain. We celebrate kindness in leaders, in friends, in strangers. But what we rarely talk about is the shadow that sits behind kindness. A shadow that grows silently, fed by guilt, expectations, and fear. Because kindness, when misused or misunderstood, can become a blade, a mask, a slow self-erasure. And when you ignore that shadow, kindness itself can start to destroy you. The kind person who is quietly falling apart. Look closely at the kindest person you know, not at the smile they've mastered that, not at the helpfulness they've perfected that, but at the eyes. If you pay attention long enough, you'll see it. A heaviness, a tiredness, a subtle wavering that says, "Please don't ask me for anything else." These people are the emotional first responders of life. They are the ones who show up at 2 a.m., the ones who fix problems they didn't cause, the ones who absorb everyone else's stress until their own becomes unbearable, and society rewards them for it. You're so nice. You're so reliable. You're such a good person. But underneath that praise, something darker is happening. They are disappearing. Because when kindness is used as a survival strategy, when it becomes the way you earn love, avoid conflict, or feel worthy, it is no longer kindness. It becomes self-abandonment dressed as virtue, the mask of endless kindness. For many people, kindness becomes a mask so convincing that even they forget they're wearing it. They say yes when everything inside them is screaming no. They smile when they want to break. They help even when no one ever helps them back. And the world learns the wrong lesson. This person doesn't need anything. This person doesn't get tired. This person will always adjust, always give, always say yes. So people stop asking, they stop checking in, they stop wondering what the kind person might actually need. And slowly, the kind person becomes invisible, not because others are cruel, but because the kind person trained the world without meaning to that their needs don't matter. This is the cruel irony of chronic kindness. The kinder you are, the easier it is for people to overlook your pain. When kindness turns against you, there's a point where kindness stops being a gift and becomes a burden. Psychologists call it compassion fatigue, a slow emotional burnout caused by giving too much for too long. It's common in healthcare workers, teachers, caregivers, but it can happen to anyone with a soft heart and thin boundaries. Studies show that people who constantly put others first experience higher anxiety, higher depression, chronic stress, immune problems, emotional emptiness, resentment. They're too ashamed to admit, because kindness without boundaries is not kindness. It's martyrdom, it's self-neglect, it's slowly dying with a smile on your face. The resentment no one talks about. There's a hidden truth most kind people will never say out loud. They are exhausted, they are overwhelmed, and they are secretly angry, not at others, but at themselves, for agreeing to things they didn't want to do, for carrying burdens they should have put down, for being available to everyone except themselves. Resentment is what happens when kindness goes too far. It is the monster born from every swallowed emotion, every muted need, every silent sacrifice. And when that monster finally breaks loose after years of being ignored, it doesn't come out gently. It comes out as unexpected anger, passive-aggressive remarks, emotional withdrawal, sudden burnout, explosive breakdowns, and the world gets confused. Why is the nice one acting like this? because no one sees the years of overgiving that came before the collapse. The root of it all. Why kind people can't say no. Why do some people become chronic givers? The answer usually lies in childhood. If you grew up in a home where love was conditional, where you were praised for being quiet, good, obedient, helpful, you learned something dangerous. Being useful equals being loved. And once this belief settles deep into the nervous system, it's almost impossible to shake. You become an adult who fears saying no, an adult who avoids conflict at all costs, an adult who feels guilty for resting, an adult who thinks, if I stop giving, people will stop loving me. But that's not love, that's emotional labor, disguised as self-worth. And it will break you. The body keeps the score. Neuroscience has shown that our brains are wired for empathy. Mirror neurons fire when we see someone in distress, our body feels their suffering. But here's the catch. Your brain cannot handle infinite empathy. It needs boundaries the same way your body needs sleep. When you ignore your own needs to care for everyone else, your brain enters a chronic stress state. Your nervous system becomes overwhelmed. Your immune system weakens. Your emotions become unstable. Kindness without rest becomes trauma. Kindness without boundaries becomes damage. So now we reach the turning point, the place where the story shifts from quiet suffering to uncomfortable truth. Because if the dark side of kindness is self-erasure, then the way out requires something many nice people fear more than exhaustion. Boundaries, not the aggressive kind, not the walls that shut the world out, but the invisible lines that separate you from everyone else. Boundaries, the kindness you owe yourself. For people who grew up earning love through self-sacrifice, boundaries feel wrong. They feel selfish. They feel like disappointing people, failing people, hurting people. But boundaries are none of those things. Boundaries are honesty. They say, I care about you, but I cannot destroy myself to make you comfortable. They are allowed to want, and I am allowed to decline. My kindness is real, but it has limits. True kindness cannot exist without limits, because kindness without boundaries becomes obligation, and obligation becomes resentment. Research shows that when people set healthy boundaries, they experience deeper relationships, higher emotional stability, lower burnout, higher self-respect, more authentic generosity. Why? Because when they say yes, they actually mean it. Their kindness is no longer a mask. It's a choice, the painful truth. Some people won't like the new you. Here's the part no one wants to admit. When you stop overgiving, some relationships will crumble, not because you did anything wrong, but because those relationships were built on the expectation that you would always sacrifice yourself. When you finally say, I can't do that anymore. I'm tired. I need space. I'm not available. I matter too. Some people will react with confusion, frustration, or even anger. They'll say you've changed, that you're distant, that you're being selfish. But what they really mean is, you're no longer giving me what I took for granted. And losing people you cared for, people you tried so hard to keep happy hurts. But it's also necessary, because anyone who loves you only when you're useful does not love you. Kindness shouldn't cost you your peace, or your identity, or your health. When kindness becomes a dangerous extreme, there is an actual psychological term for destructive overgiving: pathological altruism. It describes kindness that harms. When you sacrifice your health for others, when you protect people from the consequences of their actions, when you fix problems that aren't yours, when you rescue people who never learn to stand on their own, when you give until you collapse. Pathological altruism looks saintly on the surface, but beneath it, both people suffer. The giver becomes exhausted. The receiver becomes dependent. It is kindness turned toxic kindness that imprisons instead of nurtures. The cultural lie of the good person. Society loves the idea of the good person, the woman who never complains, the man who always helps everyone, the friend who is always available, the child who never causes trouble. We applaud them. We admire them. We point to them like moral examples. But hidden inside this praise is a dangerous message. Goodness means silence. Goodness means self-sacrifice. Goodness means never asking for anything. Goodness means pleasing everyone. Yet authentic goodness, the kind that heals rather than harms, requires truth. It requires the courage to say, I care. And because I care, I won't betray myself. Kindness is not the absence of boundaries. Kindness is choosing compassion without losing your identity in the process. Practical ways to transform your kindness. This is where the shift begins. 1. Practice the pause. Before you respond, stop. Ask yourself, do I want to do this? Do I have the energy? Even 2 seconds of reflection can save you from automatic sacrifice. 2. Learn gentle no's. A no can still be kind. I'd love to help, but I don't have the capacity right now. End quote. I care about you, but I can't take this on. A gentle no is more honest than a resentful yes. 3. Redefine your worth. Your value has nothing to do with your usefulness. Love is not something you earn by carrying everyone else's weight. 4. Fill your own cup first. The more nourished you are, the more genuine your kindness becomes. 5. Honor negative emotions. Anger is not the enemy of kindness. It's a guide, a signal, a boundary alarm. When you listen to it, it leads you back to yourself, the mask in the mirror. For many, kindness has become a permanent mask, a smile hiding exhaustion, a yes hiding pain, a calm voice hiding frustration. Masks are heavy, and when you wear them for years, you forget the shape of your own face. But the goal is not to throw kindness away, it is to transform it, to remove the mask and replace it with a mirror that reflects the real you, not the version people shaped, not the version you performed, but the version that is honest, whole, and human. Kindness from that place is powerful, because it comes from truth, not fear, from fullness, not depletion, from abundance, not emptiness. The ultimate lesson, if you want to know who you truly are, look at how you treat yourself when no one is watching. Do you rest when you're tired? Do you allow yourself to say no? Do you forgive your mistakes? Do you speak to yourself gently? If not, then your kindness toward others rests on a fragile foundation. Because self-neglect is the real monster that hides behind kindness. Not anger, not boundaries, not saying no, not speaking your truth. The monster is abandoning yourself in the name of being good. But once you confront that, once you return to yourself, everything changes. Your kindness becomes clearer, stronger, brighter, healthier, and more real. It becomes the kind of kindness that doesn't kill you to give, the kind that nourishes you and everyone around you, the kind of kindness the world has always needed. Not endless yeses, not quiet suffering, not self-erasure, but compassion rooted in truth, kindness that keeps others alive and keeps you alive too.